lack of a better word, is good. Greed is right. Greed works.
Hello everyone and welcome to episode 68 of Let's Play Wall Street Raider. I'm RakeM, your host. Sorry that my episode is a little bit late, but I've been working on this game by JV Baseball with over $2 sextillion in net worth. But I don't know if there's a difference in the version that's causing a problem, or if it's just that I don't understand everything that's happening here. Plus there's a certain amount of randomness to each game, but haven't quite figured out how he's accomplishing this. But it was just taking too long, so we're just going to do an episode of our current game, which is actually doing pretty good. Matter of fact, we've got a lot of things going for us this episode, just starting out. First of all, we've got a good price on silver, so we're going to try to pick up on that. And I think the price of crude, even though it's high, is a good time to buy it. And then on top of that, we've got an increasing prime rate, which means it's a good time to start buying bonds. And we have a lot of cash everywhere, so it's a good time to start putting all that stuff to work. So what we're going to do today is we're going to start off by buying silver for everyone, and I think we're going to be buying it all the way up to $15. So rather than cutting it off at like just over 14, we're going to keep buying it until it hits 15. And on crude, we're going to do the same thing, except we're going to cut it off at 95. Right? And our sale price on crude is going to be 125 when we buy it that high. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and fast forward right now and buy all that up. I don't know if these companies will still have excess cash when we get done. They should, but we'll start working these notes, and I'll explain more about these notes when I get done. So I'll be right back. All right, at the end of the last episode, when we sold off all of our index futures, we had Fortis sell the index short, and it looks like the index is on the way up. So I just want to check and see whether we want to cover these now or let them go. And I'm thinking we want to cover them just because I don't think the index is going to go down. I think it's going to keep going up. So we got an easing policy especially. So let's sell this off, and then we need to go check on the bank, make sure he has enough cash, and I want to start putting some of the money that he has in excess, and the money that he has in prime mortgages, I want to put that into bonds, because now the interest rate's way up. All right, so as a matter of fact, let's go check on him, make sure he didn't run out of cash. He's way out of cash. So let's sell off 15 billion worth of mortgages, and then let's go cancel those index futures. And then we'll come back to Bank of RakeM and we will start buying some bonds. Okay, so let's go back to the bank. And what we're going to do is we're going to buy bonds. We're going to start with the long bond. The return on it is up nice and high. So what we're going to do is we are going to buy as many bonds as we can with him. And we probably ought to look at whether he's got room to buy more corporate bonds, and he does, because their returns are going to be even higher. So let's do a database search and get us some decent sized bonds here. Oops. There we go. All right, we got some to choose from. Even in the A rating. Oh, here's one with 112 billion. Burlington Resources. All right, so let's fill up our bonds for RakeM Bank, and then we will go buy some T-bills. I will do that and be right back. All right, we've bought all of our corporate bonds, and now it's time to buy government bonds. And before we do, though, we need to talk about what we're going to do with our commodities. So we're looking to sell crude at 120, and silver is at our sale price right now, but it looks like it's still on the way up. So we're going to hold off until it starts to head down, and when it heads down, that's when we'll sell it off. And it looks like gold was dropping and is now on the way back up. We are going to buy it at 1200. So if it falls anywhere into the 1100s, we'll pick up some physical commodities of gold. But until then, let's just deal with our bonds. Now, the thing about bonds, and let's go here to economic statistics. The long bond yield is up above 9% now, which is better than mortgages, which is why we want to buy bonds at this point. And the long bond is selling at 58.34. So what we're going to do is we're going to be buying the long bond until the rate drops below whatever mortgages are paying, and that's when we'll sell them off. And hopefully, since this is a 4.25 bond, the price of the bond will probably not reach 100% unless the prime rate hits 4%. But we'll be happy to sell these off at like $90 a piece and make $30 a piece on each one of them. All right, but the thing I want to show you here is the national debt is $32 trillion. And we have, there's only like 1.8 trillion that's actually owned by any of the companies in the market. So there's $30 trillion worth of bonds that are up for sale. And the thing is that this is the face value. So the regular value or the market value is 58% of that for the long bond and only 97% for the short bond. And we don't know how much of each are out there. So we're going to start buying up the long bond, and if the interest rate keeps going up, we'll start buying the short bond. But for now, we're only concerned with the long bond, and let's say it's a 50-50 split. There's $16 trillion worth of face value bonds, long bonds out there. At 58% is going to be somewhere around 10 trillion. $9.3 trillion. Right? So our bank has 8.8. Right? So we should be able to buy all the ones out there that exist. And we'll just keep an eye on our commodity prices as we're doing this. Now, in older versions of the game, you could just set this up to go to trade corporate bonds, buy the long bond, and you could just hit and hold down the enter key, and it would buy bonds forever until you let it go. But for some reason, in the later versions of the game, he has decided to go ahead and institute the 5 transaction maximum. So we're going to have to buy these 5 transactions at a time, which is going to take a long time to buy $16 trillion worth. So I'm going to fast forward while I'm doing this, and I will interrupt when it's time to sell any of these off. And silver is still on the way up, so that's good. All right, so I'm going to fast forward, and I'll be back when we are going to trade some commodities, because I think that's going to happen before we're done buying bonds. But the bonds do represent overall more money, so we're going to get as many as we can. So I'll be right back. All right, we're interrupting because silver has gotten up to almost $22 an ounce. So we are going to go sell off all of our silver. Don't think too many people have it. Right, so this should only take a minute. Oil got up to 124. So if it continues to fall, we will sell that as well. But I'm hoping that it will get back above 120 before we have to do that. All right, so let's sell off all of our silver. Wow, the price dropped in a huge hurry. So we only got it sold off. We got it sold off for everybody but these four, but I think I'm going to wait. See what happens with this before we do any more. So let's go back to the bank. He's going to have a whole bunch more cash now. We're going to trade some more bonds and see what happens with these prices. I'm going to buy some more bonds and then I'll be back. Well, I don't really know how many that was, but I think it was upwards of a dozen. With the short bond being much higher, we've got a higher default rate on the swaps. All right, so oil is up to 134, peaked at 136. We're going to go ahead and sell that off. I will do that and be right back. All right, all the oil is sold off and silver looks to be on the rise again, so we will look to be selling the rest of our stock off of that as soon as it hits 20. But in the meantime, let's go back over to the bank and buy some more bonds because the yield is still going up, which means that the price of the bonds is coming down. So let's strike while the iron's hot. I will be right back. As predicted, silver has hit 20, so let's go over to Peak and these other four and sell off our holdings there. Okay, gold's on the way down, so let's go back to the bank and buy some more bonds while we wait for these prices to go back to a buy point, and I will be right back. We've bought trillions of dollars worth of bonds at this point, and we will be buying some more, but first we're going to pick up silver now that it's fallen below 14. And as before, we're going to buy it until it gets above 15. And when we get done buying silver, I'll show you exactly how many bonds we've bought and what we plan to do next. But the big news is that when all the banks declared their earnings, all their earnings were up, and the earnings at all the insurance companies were up as well. So RakeM Insurance has a price tag of $125 a share, which puts our net worth almost at 400 trillion. And maybe we'll pass that today. Maybe we'll hit our new high. Actually, we've already hit our new high. It's just I just want to get across 400 if we can. But anyway, let's go buy some silver, and then I'll be back. Well, we just had a field day. We bought all of the gold, silver, and oil that we possibly could everywhere. And the price of silver is still pretty low, so I'd like to buy it some more. But we need to go check on the bank, make sure he still has cash. And he's negative. So let's sell off 10 trillion worth of mortgages. And let's see who has cash that could possibly pick up some more silver here. He's got it. Got it. It's a bank. He's an insurance company, insurance bank. All right, so Superior Energy could pick up either oil or silver. Let's have him buy 25,000 units of silver. Not sure where PBR is going to fall on this list. Here he is. He's got enough to do 25,000 too. All right, now it's going up again, so we'll hold off on the rest. Okay, so where were we? We were at the bank and we were buying bonds. And his equity's really getting up there. And what I would like to see is this rate keep going up and for our index to fall, because when we disperse all this excess cash, our index is going to spike. And it'll keep going up when we increase dividends, which is what I intend to do with the rest of these companies. But in the meantime, or before we do all that, we need to get these bonds bought. So let's see how many we have now. At 8 trillion face value, or market value, I guess I should say, 13.7 trillion in face value. And their price is on the way up. So this has dropped from 10.75 to 10.25. And our long bond yield has dropped from 9.4 to 9%. So let's get some more of these bought while the prices are low. I will fast forward and be right back. All right, so the number of bonds that we can buy at a time now is really small for the long bond. It's only 2,800, right, which only amounts to about 1.7 billion. So we're going to stop here. Let's see how many we got. We have 9 billion in market value, which is just under 15 billion in total value. Let's go ahead and use these other 4 turns and see if we can get right at 1.5 trillion, or excuse me, 15 trillion. All right, let's do one more. There we go, just over 15 trillion. And we need a little bit more cash here. So let's sell off 1.25 trillion in mortgages. All right, now our value is up and our index is up, but we're about to disperse excess cash from all of these guys. And I'm just going to have RakeM Insurance buy a couple of hundred index futures just to see how we do. That is, if we can find a counterparty. And the intention is to sell those off as soon as we get done dealing with all of our stocks here. So let's go to International Holdings. He has 1.129 trillion in excess cash. That gives us a steep decline. Wow, the opposite of what I expected. It's dropped over 10,000 points. Holy cow. All right. Let's have him buy a couple of hundred more and hope that the trend reverses as we do this disbursements. So let's buy another couple of hundred here. All right, let's go to Atlas and disperse his cash and see what happens. He has an extra 1,038 billion. Okay, now we're posting a huge gain of 11,000 points. So everything that we lost and then some, we've just gained back. Let's go to Crown. He has 721 billion. Now we're declining again. I think the game is just jerking us around here. Let's go to Peak. Here we have an extra 695 billion. And again. Here we have 871 billion. All right, no notice on that one. Hutchison Whampoa, 865 billion. Matsushita, 805 billion. Yum Brands, 589 billion. All right, I think we have to go deal with bankruptcies here. All right, so nothing's ready to sell. And our index is kind of holding steady at 48,000. Our stock price is off by $7. Let's go to the bank and see where we stand as far as these bankruptcies go. Let's take a look at the market share report. Okay, so we don't own these, or that, or that, or that. We got United Continental. He's got a big market share. We are downsizing at the maximum rate, just people are going bankrupt. We've got a lot of cash. And what's our return look like? All right, so our return's all right. So we could pick up this one, I think. Let's see, who else? He is partially owned, so maybe KLM. Yeah, we can pick him up. 200 million. All right, so let's pick up KLM here. We'll give him 10% of our assets, and then we'll sell him off. Okay, now we'll spin off 81% and then sell it. Okay, so that reduces our market share. Oh wait, let's go to that reduces our market share to 44.5. It takes him out of bankruptcy status. Where is he? Right there. He's got an A credit rating now. So he won't go bankrupt. These others might, but that will keep us out of monopoly status for a while. So let's see who's next. Hoffman LaRoche. Ooh. We got to get rid of this stuff immediately. Okay, who owns Novartis? Okay, let's have Sanofi Aventis sell this 61%. So that if Sanofi Aventis goes broke again, we'll only pick up him and not both of them. And then Sanofi Aventis. Okay, that's not the part that we control. It must be this one. Yeah. Alright, so let's have him sell off Sanofi Aventis, which should cause us to no longer control it. And Hoffman LaRoche may have to settle that lawsuit since we had such a huge share. What is that? We controlled 85% of the market. Yeesh. Ugh. Yeah, we should have got rid of that as soon as we saw that. So, we should have looked at it sooner, but we were so busy buying bonds, trying to get it while the getting was good. But anyway, he may have to settle, given how high a percentage he had. But I guess we'll deal with that when we get there. The question is, do we want to give some of this stuff away here? Right, we're still growing at a -10. These guys are growing positive, so I guess we'll hold off for now. Was there anybody else going broke in there? I guess that's the important question. Yeah, got a couple. A couple going broke. So I guess we do need to give away some assets here. So let's buy up this other 81%. Give him 10% of our assets. Alright, let's see, who else? Iomega we got rid of, I think. I don't know, that was Imperial Petroleum. Alright, so we don't own Iomega, we don't have Phillips Handhausen. So the next one is Toyota here. Everybody's downsizing. We got a lot of people going broke. So let's pick up one of these guys, give them our assets, 10% of them. Subaru seems to be the best choice. So let's buy him. Well, maybe not. Let's find one that's not owned. How about this one? Who else? Alright, this guy's unowned, so we'll do him. So let's see. Turner Broadcasting. And basically from here down we got a bunch. So Lucky Gold Star is ours. This one's ours. Caterpillar's not. Lubrizol and Nvidia is. Toyota Europe is. Alright, so let's look at Turner. He's the last of the 48s. We're still downsizing, decent return. A couple of guys in trouble, and NBC in particular is bad news. If he goes broke. Let's see what it would cost to buy CBS. Oh goodness, he could pay off his bonds. What's his problem? Pay off your bonds. Let's see if we can pick him up. Alright, it's for sale by Alliance. Alright, so CBS. Alright, now let's give him 10% of our assets. Spin off 81% and then sell it. Alright, let's look at fin lines. He's still in bad shape. Do we own 100% of him? No, let's just sell it off. Imperial Petroleum. Let's see. That's Fortis Securities. Imperial Petroleum has 100 billion in tax loss carryovers. Let's merge him in with PBR. We'll have to borrow some money from the bank to do this, but that's all right. Okay, going back to the bank. Storage technology. He's practically nothing. Let's just get rid of it. Well, let's check on his tax loss carryovers first, I suppose. Less than $1 billion. Not worth it. Let's just spin off half of it and sell it. That leaves us Cyprus, right? And does NVIDIA own any part of it? No. Let's buy 19% and then have the bank sell the rest. Okay, that's it for bankruptcies. So let's go back over to Yum Brands. We've already dispersed his cash, so let's go to BMWU. He has 503 billion in excess cash. All right, Daimler Chrysler. All right, this is a little trickier. He's got 1.8 in physical commodities. So we just take 2 trillion minus this, and whatever that is, which is 210 billion, we subtract it from his cash. So he's got 1.59 trillion in excess cash. And you notice we did not get a message that that we got any kind of a market rally as a result of that, despite the fact that the index is now up over 50,000. All right, so we've got what is that? 190 billion from this. So 980 billion is what we have excess. All right, here, 240 billion from this is 1.74 trillion. And here, 200 billion from that, 1.54 trillion. All right, now all of their insurance companies are going to have excess cash. And we used to give these to their respective banks, but this time, or for a while now, we've been just dispersing this up to RakeM Insurance to have him give it to Bank of RakeM to reduce his liabilities. And that's what we're going to do here too. So let's see, we're going to leave them with $500 billion plus whatever they need for taxes. So let's just leave him 600 billion and we'll disperse 2.156. It'll only let us do this much. What is that? That is 865 billion it'll let us do. So I guess that's what we're going to do. We're going to do the max. And now the index is declining. Let's go to INGG. He's got, let's see, 1.6 from that. So, let's see, 560 from this. So 1.6 trillion. Right, so we'll just do the maximum. And now our stocks have a huge gain. Let's go to Progressive. All right, 1.3 minus 500 be 800 billion. And now we got a crash. TMFI. Wow. So 2.6 trillion we can do here. But it will only let us do this much, which is fine. And it's going to be the same thing here, I imagine. We got 2.4 minus our half a million, so half a trillion, so 1.9. So let's do 1.85. Okay. We have $12 trillion. Let's give 11 trillion of that to the bank. So now our liabilities is down to 22 trillion and our equity is up to almost 78. Our Odyssey has fallen back from 400 trillion down to 310. So we have gotten all of this excess cash moved around except for what we have at some of these industrial companies that are trading stuff. So I think it's time to start working. Let's see, we took care of that and that and that. So now it's time to deal with everything else. Alright, but I don't know exactly how long we've been going, so I need to double check my timer. We have about 20 minutes left, which is more time than I expected, but we have fast forwarded quite a bit. And gold is at its sale price. And let's see. Let's go check on RakeM Insurance and see what his futures are worth. He's making money on some and less on others. So these first two, wow, that was really high. I should have paid more attention to how high that was. But we're making money on the others, so I guess we're doing okay. So I guess what we want to do is we want to sell off the gold first of all while the price is high, and then we'll start working this other stuff. Alright, so I'm going to sell off all of our gold, and I will be back in just a minute. We got that sold off in the nick of time because the price started to drop there on the last two. But we did make over 100 billion on each one of those, so we're all right. And silver got up above 17. We're actually looking to sell it at 20. But if it gets to 18, we'll probably go ahead because we bought a lot of it at 11. And then on crude, we're looking for it to hit 100. We bought a lot of it at 64. So we could sell it right now for a huge profit, but I'm gonna wait because it seems to be on the way up. Gonna try to sell it at 100. All right, so let's go over to RakeM Insurance. He has a whole bunch of money. I wonder if he has any short bonds. What are they trading at? They're at 99. I'd really like it to be around 96 or lower before we buy any of those. So I guess we'll hold off some more. See what happens with this interest rate. But we need to split him. It's time to split his stock. And his price should still go up. Anyway, we needed to split him, so he's split. And then we need to raise the dividends on these guys down here. To make them all 1% at a minimum. Right? So Mitsui here, he's bringing in enough to do 1.5% or even 2% if we weren't doing extraordinary dividends. But I just want to make his regular dividend 1%. And we're going to do that on all the insurance companies and the banks. All right. So I'll fast forward while I set these up, and I will be right back. Okay, so sorry I'm spending so much time peeking at FedEx here, but I forgot all about sending him up to, he's owned by RakeM Insurance now. Oh, no, he's not. He's owned by Aetna. How did I get over to Aetna? I thought I was looking at RakeM Insurance. Okay, my mistake. My mistake. So, man, I don't know. Maybe I'm just tired. Okay, so we've got them all split. We've given them all a 1% dividend. I don't really care about the holding companies, what their dividends are. We're not trying to grow their stock price at all. All right, so that is it as far as RakeM Insurance goes. And we've adjusted all of these dividends. So now we need to deal with these banks. Right, so Aetna here has SIVB. He's got a 2.2% dividend. We're going to knock that back to 1%. Okay. Mitsui Marine has this one. We're going to knock that back to 72 cents. Let's split him too. TMFI has HSBK here. We're going to knock this down to 45 cents. All right, here we have Nordea Bank. We're going to knock that down to 36 cents. And then one left. MVK. We'll knock it down to 36 cents. All right, let's go over to Canadian Imperial. He had more cash than he needs. He only needs 210. So let's put 390 into mortgages. Hong Kong Shanghai also has excess cash. He only needs 268. So let's put 406 billion into mortgages. And then US Bank Corp. He's got a huge dividend and I own him and I pay taxes on whatever dividends he sends out. So we're going to kill his dividend entirely because I don't need the income. And as a matter of fact, we're probably going to give him some more money here. Let's take a look at Bank of RakeM and see how much money over 6 trillion he has. He's got 12 trillion extra, so I could give all of this to US Bank Corp. So I want to keep 2 trillion. And let's see. So I'm going to give him 6. All right, now these are still up. Let's buy some more bonds. Let's start with corporate bonds, though. All right, so I'm going to buy him some corporate bonds, and I'll be right back. Looks like gold has dropped all the way down to a buying price of right around 1,000. So we need to pick up gold again. I've already taken care of buying U.S. Bank Corp all of his corporate bonds that he could possibly buy. But now we need to get some more of everything else. And the return isn't that great, and the price isn't that great on the short bond. But it's on the way down, and I think I'm going to go ahead and buy short bonds for him. But first, we're going to pick up gold. All right, so I'm going to fast forward while I buy gold for everyone. And then I will buy bonds for U.S. Bank Corp, and then I'll be back. So in the time that it took me to buy those bonds, the price of gold has jumped all the way up to almost 1,500. And silver was up above 17 just a second ago. All right, but we're going to take the profit on the gold. So starting with me, I'm going to sell off my gold, and then I'm going to do the same for as many people as I can. As long as the price stays above 1,300, we'll keep going. We'll do that and be right back. So what I would like to do now is I would like to increase our dividends to the maximum amount, and the maximum amount in a lot of cases is going to be 6%. And just to give you an example, because I'm not going to make you watch every one of these, but I'm just going to fast forward through them. So SK Telecom, we're going to make him 6%. And the reason why is because we're downsizing, and as a result, he's got more than double the amount of excess, the amount of cash that he needs here. He only needs 46 billion. He's got more than double that. So last time we increased his dividend, and we're going to increase it all the way up to 6% to get rid of some of this excess cash. He's bringing in enough to, wow, look at that. He's bringing in enough to have like a 6% dividend all by himself, because these returns are just going through the roof. Right? So, matter of fact, on him, I think we're going to give him a 7% dividend. But anyway, on the ones last time out, I think we what we did was we changed a bunch of them to either 2% or 4%. And we're going to do that again, except if they have double the amount of cash that they need, we're going to make it 6%. And if on top of that, they're making enough income to support a 4% dividend, and the way we arrive at that, like 9 cents per quarter would be enough for a 1% dividend, right? 9 times 4 is what? 20, can't even think, 36 cents. So he's bringing in enough every quarter to have a 4% dividend all by himself, right? Ignoring the fact that he's got excess cash. So on him, we're going to make it 8%. Let's go ahead and jump it up. We'll make it 8% on him until this cash is gone, basically, until he's below 40 billion. And what that's going to do, since we can't grow, we've got too big of a market share, it's going to make up for the fact that we can't grow by having a huge dividend. It'll help his stock price. All right, now I'm not going to make you watch me do it. It's just basically everybody on this list that has a note has to have his dividend increased. Anything that's not a dividend increase, I will save it and we'll probably attack it next time. All right, but I'm just going to fast forward while I get these, and if our commodity prices, when we're done, are ready to sell off or buy or whatever, then that's what we'll do, and then we'll finish the episode up. All right, so let me get these dividends adjusted, and I'll be right back. All right, we got some merger thing here for a company we only own 5% of. I'm just going to say no. Might go through anyway, I don't know, but PBR didn't have a dividend issue. He has debt, and he had to raise his R&D because he's reasonably competent and somebody else was spending more. So I went ahead and killed the dividend because his earnings are projected to be negative, despite the fact that we're going to be making a lot of money off commodities. So if I were to cash these in now, we'd make a huge profit, but they're really not at their sale prices yet. So we're going to hold off and hope for something better. All right, so let me just continue down the list. I will fast forward again and be right back. Okay, I've got all the dividends set the way I like them, and there's very few notes left. Pretty much all of it had to do with dividends. And I wouldn't have thought it possible for us to go all the way from 294 or whatever it was, trillion, all the way above 400 and then back down. But apparently the dispersal of those cash dividends have kind of messed with us a little bit. So let's go over to RakeM Insurance and let's see if these guys still have excess cash as a result of those profits. 250 here, 250 billion. So I'm going to try one more time to disperse some cash. If we get a crash, I'll keep going, but if we get an increase, some kind of market rally, I will stop there, and we'll figure out what to do with the rest of the cash later. All right, but let's start with international holdings here. Going to do an extraordinary dividend for 250 billion. And we have a market soars to 55,000. Wow, and look at that. Took us all the way up to 482 trillion. So there's something wonky there in how much credit it gives to those kinds of dispersals. And here we have 3 trillion. We only need 1 of it for taxes. We could give the rest to the bank, which is now rivaling the size of MMF and TMFI. But anyway, that is a nice high note. So I'm going to stop here, and we'll deal with everything else on the next one. So that's it for today. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like and share. And until next time, this is RakeM saying, have a good one.